Yes. So, as you can see, I primarily read Stephen King, but I'm actually going to exclude Stephen King books from this, so if you guys want that, I can do that separately. One of my favorite horror books I've ever read is Tender as the Flesh. This book is so visceral, it's disturbing, it's everything I want in a book. When I read the ending of this book, my jaw literally dropped to the ground and I had to sit in silence for like 10 minutes. Staying on the disturbing and disgusting theme, The Troop by Nick Cutter. This book is gross in the best way possible. This book literally had me convinced that I had like a tapeworm or a parasite for at least 2 weeks after it for no reason other than it just shook me that much. The Final Girl support group is probably the most fun I've had reading a horror book. The nods and homages to classic horror films that are made in this book is just every horror fan's dream. I don't have this book on me because I love it so much that I lent it out because I want everybody to read it. The Last House on Needless Street was one of the most shocking books I've read, just in the way that it played out and also in the way that it actually made me incredibly depressed. I cried at the end of this book. But it was really incredible and I really want to read more books from this author. Bones and All is another one that surprised me. I haven't watched this movie yet, so I'm not sure if the endings are the same, but when I read the ending of this book, this is another one that my jaw just dropped to the floor. I was absolutely shook. Clown in a Cornfield, this one is like a young adult novel, but this is another one like Final Girl support group that was just so much fun. It's a really cool whodunit, and again, the way that this one plays out is just shocking. Reading House of Leaves was honestly one of the most challenging yet rewarding things I've ever done. I usually fly through books, and this took me 3 months to get through. If you have the ability to get through this one, it's worth it, but definitely be in a good state of mind. The Deep is another Nick Cutter book that just freaked me the fuck out. This book takes place at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, and if you're terrified of water like me, it is so suffocating, and there's just this absolute overwhelming sense of dread from beginning to end. But if you want to know what is truly the scariest book I have ever read, it is actually The Exorcist. Now, The Exorcist is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I've seen that movie like literally 300 times. So I didn't think the book would scare me, but it actually scared the fucking shit out of me. I honestly don't know what it is about the book that scared me so much, but I had to keep all my lights on after I finished reading it. And finally, probably one of the most frustrating books I've ever read, Baby Teeth. And I say frustrating because the whole time you're yelling at the parent, specifically the father, to make better decisions. But the way they describe it up here pretty much sums it up. Also, if you're looking for a good classic, for sure read The Haunting of Hill House. And also The Hellbound Heart, which is what Hellraiser is based on, is one of my favorite books. And obviously you can read it in one sitting.